Hey guys, got a 0-16 game against a player rated just under 800 points. And they've started with e3, the Vant Croix opening. That was a mouse slip, so I've just done the mirror with e6. Now, I had an absolutely shocking day yesterday. My rating slid down to 14-16, so I've lost like 100 points. That was just awful. See, the reason why you don't play these pawns one forward is because it's going to block off one of your bishops, right? So my light squared bishop now is a problem. So what I want to do now is to kind of fianchetto that bishop, but he's going to get there first. So what are we going to do? Let's play d5. Try and go back to opening principles, control the center and stuff like that. I'm going to try and, after my mouse slip on the first move, let's try and follow opening principles. Okay, which my opponent is not doing. He's playing checkers, which is fine. Okay, I'm going to bring up my king's knight. If all else fails, bring out the king's knight. So generally knights before bishops, and generally kingside minor pieces before queenside minor pieces. The reason is, it's simply quicker to castle kingside, because you've only got to move two things. Well, this just invites me to play bishop d7 or even knight c6. Bishop d7 though comes with tempo. It does undefend this pawn, so we have to be careful about that. But now both of these diagonals are covered by my bishops. You don't want to throw your queen out. Your queen should not come out first, right? And that's why, because white has just now had to spend another move moving his queen. Okay, now the queen's looking at this pawn. So I've got a few options. I can put my bishop there. I can push the pawn forward. I think I'll just push the pawn forward. That could then support c5 at some point. This bishop's awful, completely trapped in. This knight only has one square to go to, which is here. That's awful. This bishop, not too bad. At least it has some options, and the knight comes out. Okay, finally. Okie dokie. Thinking bishop here or bishop here. Where's the best diagonals for the bishop? Just get a sticker here, I think, for now. Get ready to castle. It's controlling that and potentially controlling that. Oh, what's that about then? Okay. Now, I don't mind if he wants to take his knight, because look, that will make my mind up about where I want to put my pawns. I'm just going to go ahead and castle. If he takes knight, I'm going to recapture probably with the knight. And the knight can come to here, defended by a pawn. Or pawn might want to go to there. Yeah, I hope he captures. See, in the beginning, you look how he's invested 1-2 moves into this knight already. Okay, he's only played 7 moves. He's had 7 turns to try and occupy the board and control the board and gain a strategic advantage over me. Okay, now what he's done is he's spent 2 of those turns moving this knight. If he were to spend a 3rd turn on move 8, or that would have been move 7, and then his knight disappears, there's no visible benefit for those 3 moves that he's spent on the knight. I don't get this move at all. It removes one option from the light squared bishop. Part of me thinks moving the bishop there might be decent. But I think let's just let's push the pawn forwards and occupy some space. So now we've got all 4 of these squares are out of bounds, as well as these, and this for my knight, and this for my bishop. So this, I'm controlling quite a few important squares in my opponent's territory here. Alright, so I'm inclined just to develop my knight. Ask him the question now. If he wants to take or retake with the bishop. Now I'm feeling now in a fairly solid situation. My opponent just played bad move choices. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single pawn pushes. So what he's done is he's created space now around the king, but what he hasn't done is he hasn't developed his bishops. He's only developed one knight. He hasn't castled. He could have done all of that by this point, right? I'm castled, all my minor pieces are developed, and now look. So he's done 1, 2, and then he's retreated 3. So he's played 10 moves, 3 of them have achieved 1 move, if you know what I mean. So he did that once already, he's now done that and then retreated. So 2 moves can be completely burned. So now I think pushing in the centre looks good. And here's a key thing, you will get this a lot, right? If you follow principal play in the opening, you will get your king to safety and you'll be in a fairly happy position, okay, before your opponent does. If your opponent dicks about like this, right, and with all these pawn moves, yeah, then he's wasted a lot of time that he should have spent getting his king to one of these squares safely, getting one of his rooks to the inside, you know, getting his minor pieces out on the board with control. So when you have this situation, king's still in the middle, I think I might just centralise my rook just for good measure now, right? Line it up with his king, but now the job is to try and break through in the centre of the board because I want to open up lines towards the king. This queen's horrible. Oh look, a pawn push. But why? Why, Lisa? Why? Okay, now if I push d4, I'm attacking 2 pawns here. So there's no option of just pushing past. You see, if I was to push c4 like this, right, he could then push this. And then we've got a deadlock in the middle of the board. But if I push this, looking at 2 pawns, even if he pushes one, I'm taking the other. If he pushes that one, I'm taking. If he takes, I take. He takes. That's fine. I lose a pawn, but I'm opening up the space, which is fine. Because the space in the middle of the board is bad for his king, but it's not bad for my king. Now he has to think. Where's he from anyway? Saudi Arabia. What are you going to do? So if I could just, you know, wave a magic wand and all these pawns disappear, I'm happy. You know? Oh, we get brilliant. Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to take it back, I think. I don't care. It's not about material. So pawn takes, I might just push Eddie now. I've even got this as well if the pawn takes. Check, but he'll just block with bishop or knight. So pointless. Oh! Of course he's pushed a pawn, yeah. Of course he has. I should really save the knight. So let's move the knight. Okay, I've got 1, 2 attackers on that pawn. He's got 1, 2 defenders. So if either of these should move, the pawn is potentially mine. Okay. I just have to drop back, I think, don't I? What can I go here? Go here. What if he kicks me again? I have to retreat to there. Or I can just come straight back to here. Which isn't ideal. So say here, and he does one of his classic pawn pushes. Yeah, I'm just going to drop it back. Live to fight another day. Okay, so we've traded a pawn each. His king is still in the middle of the board. And he's pushed another pawn. Stop pushing pawns. So I push a pawn. But I'm pushing a pawn for a reason. I'm pushing a pawn because I want to open up this space. And I've got my king safe. So I've got the luxury of that, right? I'm just going to throw my pawns up the middle. Let's see what happens, right? I don't care about material. Don't care if he's +1, he's +2, he's whatever. Pawn takes. We're just going to open things up now. I'm going to come after this knight. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Okay. I don't want to put my bishop there and just actually invite him to put his bishop in front of his king. Don't want to do that. What do I want to do? I want to get my rook onto this file now. Also have to make sure I don't lose. If I lose, my rating drops down to 1400 exactly. So I'm on 1416 right now. So we can't have that. Okay, but I do need to break through somehow. Oh my goodness. Okay, well this pawn actually falls. 'Cause it's... Oh, you clever thing. Look what you did. You did a check. Okay, well I'm going to block the check. That's defended by a knight. I have to check that first, yeah. Block the check with a counterattack on the queen. So, I see your check, and I raise you. An attack on the queen. Now, I don't really want to trade, do I? But, do I have a choice? So it's only defended once, attacked twice. This knight can't defend because it wants to go there or there. I think it would have to be my queen, but I can do a discovered defense, like if I move this bishop. Let's do that. Let's try that one. Defends this pawn again anyway. Well, this is a very interesting position, actually. So his king is totally exposed there. But he's playing quite well, you know, he's I haven't been able to get into his position yet. Hello. So one thing I see is bishop takes, queen takes, that comes with check though, doesn't it? Got this, which is a fork by the bish. Oh, I haven't got that because I've been check again. Okay, let's push the pawn. Pawn is defended. Let's get rid of this bishop-queen battery. So he might trade. That's fine. So I'm pretty confident that whichever way this goes now, I'm going to be okay because I developed, because I got my king to relative safety. If I put my king on h8 now, okay, this is cool. Okay, so now, hang on, have I messed that up? No, it's defended twice. Okay, that's fine. I forgot that the rook was there. See how badly I've been playing. Yeah, put my king here. This pawn's actually good for me. It's an impenetrable barrier that white can't get through. And remember that I put my rook in line with that king there. That could yet play a major part in this story. So now I don't have my light square bishop, so that is no longer on, that idea of the fork there, which is a shame. Okay, so he's grabbed a pawn. Whoop-de-doo, he grabbed a pawn. Okay, now. Knight's defended, bishop's defended, pawn's defended, that's defended 3 times. Think the thing to do... Now I could force an exchange of queens here. I could put my queen there, with check and attacking his queen, right? That would force him to take, I retake there. I'd love to get a knight to there. So I'm 2 pawns down right now, but that's inconsequential because my king is relatively safe and his ain't. What's he going to do? He hasn't pushed a pawn in a while. He's made 3 piece moves in succession, which is very unusual. Look, he's developed a piece. Well, well, well. I'm going to play my knight here. Just going to start annoying this rook. Can't go there or there. Or there, because knight takes. So he either has to retreat or he goes to f5. f5 is a funny one. I just blundered a piece, look. I just blundered a piece, but I'm going to take that with check. Then I can take this, which attacks the king and the bishop. The bishop's going to have to retreat to there. Okay. So much for principled play. Okay, the rook's undefended, the knight's undefended, the bishop's undefended, the queen's technically undefended. There's no coordination at all on white side of the board, but I'm now 4 materials down, so I'm going to have to do something. Let's say bishop goes there, what do we do? Maybe think about coming after the rook and the knight. Yeah, okay, so thinking one idea is like queen here. So I'm looking at the knight, I'm also looking at this pawn and this pawn. That knight's defended right now. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Let's have a poke around this side of the board. Bishop's now pinned itself by blocking the check. So I was a pawn down, but I just blundered. How did I do that? Okay, knight there. Didn't do my sanity check move, right? Sanity check. Knight here attacking the thing. Is it safe? Oh no, put it back. That's what you should do. I just blundered it. Okay, so now he's attacking my rook. But I think I might be alright. See, what I've got is I've got queen takes c3 check. And then I can win his rook, probably with check. Okay, so let's say he blocks with the bishop. No, he can't block with the bishop. It's pinned. Remember, we had that conversation. Okay, he blocks with the knight. I take the rook. That comes with check. And then at any point, I can drop this rook back down to pair these guys up again. It should be fine. I can also just capture his bishop at any point. So now the situation is that my pieces are just more active than his. He's put a rook up here for reasons known best to himself, right? Because he's never castled, he's never paired his rooks up. I can repair my rooks pretty easily, right? I can put my rook there, although that would hang the knight. Yeah, his rooks are both hanging. Well, they're both undefended. That one is hanging. Right, so now he's got a problem. What does he do? If he blocks with the knight, I'm just going to take the rook. Can't move the king there. Can't leave it where it is. He's only got 2 squares he can move to. So that's his three choices. Alright, so now, if I take the rook, he can't go here. He's got to go here, I think, and then I've got another check if I wish. Let's take the rook anyway, because I know that I can always save my own rooks. If king goes here, I do have another check. I have to be very careful of this. That would actually be mate in 1 if he gets that in. So how about check here? Let's see, he plays king there. Then my rook's under attack, and so is this rook. If I go there and he goes here, so I don't have another check with a queen, I don't think. So his kings are there. I'm actually up the exchange now. So I don't think there's a finish here, is there? So I think I'm just going to have to drop back down. He can't put his bishop here to attack this pawn because my knight's covering that square, as is my queen. Oh, that's an interesting move. Is it an interesting move? Why? Okay, I have to go to here. But now what? Now I'm at this point where trading off queens would be quite acceptable. So if I take, he's got queen here with mate. Really? But I'm in check. Is that a brilliant checkmate? Is that a brilliant checkmate? I'm in check. What can I do? Take. Queen to h7 mate. Well, there you go. That was fantastic. I did not see that at all. Look at that. Did he really see that on his own? I mean, I missed that. There. I mean, what is this guy? Some kind of genius? I don't even know what that mating pattern is, you know. That with check, pawn takes, boom. Wow. Well, brilliant. Drops me back down to 1400. Good game. That was just great. That was just great. All right. Well, there you go. 1400. Let's do this. The road back to 1500. Okay. Ready to join me on a journey? Okay, fantastic game. I enjoyed that. Lots of fun. All right, see you soon.